God's will for me to be happy. Dear Divine Ones, welcome back to Miracle Mantras. I'm Kiran Jot. I'll be reading today's lesson for you, singing this mantra with you again so that you can sing it and carry it with you throughout your day. And I'll be adding a commentary at the end. This is lesson 102. I share God's will for happiness for me. You do not want to suffer. You may think it buys you something, and you may still believe a little that it buys you what you want. Yet this belief is surely shaken now, at least enough to let you question it and to suspect it really makes no sense. It has not gone as yet, but lacks the roots that once secured it tightly to the dark and hidden secret places of your mind. Today we will try to loose its weakened hold still further and to realize that pain is purposeless, without a cause and with no power to accomplish anything. It cannot purchase anything at all. It offers nothing and does not exist. And everything you think it offers you is lacking in existence like itself. You have been slave to nothing. Be free today to join the happy will of God. For several days, we will continue to devote our periods of practicing to exercises planned to help you reach the happiness God's will has placed in you. Here is your home, and here your safety is. Here is your peace, and here there is no fear. Here is salvation. Here is rest at last. Begin your practice periods today with this acceptance of God's will for you. I share God's will for happiness for me, and I accept it as my function now. Then seek this function deep within your mind, for it is there, awaiting but your choice. You cannot fail to find it when you learn it is your choice and that you share God's will. Be happy, for your only function here is happiness. You have no need to be less loving to God's child than God, whose love created him as loving as himself. Besides these hourly 5-minute rests, pause frequently today to tell yourself that you have now accepted happiness as your one function. And be sure that you are joining with God's will in doing this. I share God's will for happiness for me. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be happy. I share God's will for me to be Can we embrace that actually all of our suffering and self-inflicted pain is for nothing? That there is no punishment we need to punish ourselves for. That we deserve happiness and peace and joy because of what we are. And nothing that we do will mean that we deserve punishment. Are we ready to embrace a new thought system? Are we ready to give up the points? Our point system of suffering and who is suffering more? Every time I returned to this culture and this country from living out of it for many, many years, I noticed how even our form of communication is a kind of complaint. And we're always kind of trying to one-up each other on who has it harder, who's suffering more, whose boss is worse, whose self-employment job takes more hours. We're always trying to prove our suffering as if we get more points for it. And what is it really getting us except loss of presence and missing out on what's actually here, and missing out on the opportunity to find the joy in everything and But even when something very challenging is happening for us, the loss of a loved one, or something quite difficult, we can still choose to find the little pieces of joy, to find the happiness that we have these last moments together, that we can love each other, that we've had the opportunity to love each other. So no matter what is happening, we can focus on the joy, on the love. If we're experiencing pain, we can focus on the places that are not painful. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's quite distracting. And yet this is our practice. Can we start to loosen the bondage of pain and suffering from our minds and then our bodies? And can we really understand that God is love and love is happiness? And that is our birthright because of what we are. Thank you for being with me. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow.